From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Evening Edition.
A complete shutdown of the South Bay public transit system may come just in time for the morning commute.
I don't know what's going to happen or how I'm going to get around, at all. I have no clue.
Hear from frustrated commuters scrambling for a ride.
And keeping big chain stores out of one Bay Area town, why a new big box store is scaring some folks in Sonoma County.
Also tonight, we introduce you to a gym owner teaching others the power of staying in the fight.
This class makes my day when I come. The days that I don't have it, it's not fun.
How she found a way to fight back against Parkinson's and inspire others in the process. Well, starting with our top story tonight, it could be a rough morning commute in the South Bay tomorrow as a major strike could shut down public transit.
And ahead of that major strike in Santa Clara, folks who use public transportation should be looking for another way to get around tomorrow. According to VTA, more than 100,000 rides will be affected.
So what are the alternate options? Our Len Ramirez heard from some riders scrambling to make other plans.
Well, VTA officials are already advising riders to start making alternate plans for transportation on Monday because at 12:01 a.m. the buses and the light rail trains could stop running and the strike will be on.
Many riders were just finding out about the potential transit strike in Santa Clara County. 1,500 union bus and train operators could walk off the job, leaving about 100,000 riders potentially scrambling for a way to get to work, school, or appointments.
I can understand workers needing to strike for better wages and better working conditions. It's just one of those things you have to deal with. It makes life interesting, I guess.
He has options and will likely switch to commuting by car if the strike happens.
I don't know what's going to happen or how I'm going to get around, at all. I have no clue.
But for many others, like Abria Buster, public transportation is their only way of getting around.
I have doctor's appointments. I have things I have to go to. I don't have a vehicle. And so with this strike, it's going to affect me significantly. And I can't afford to take an Uber everywhere.
Talks between the Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 265, and the Valley Transportation Authority broke off after the union rejected VTA's proposal of a 9.3% wage increase over 3 years. VTA says the union wants a 19.1%, which it can't afford.
The reality, with a wage increase at this level, or anything close to it, would be service cuts throughout our system and the likely elimination of positions across VTA.
The transportation agency says if the strike happens, it does not have alternate plans to keep the county moving at this time.
Right now, the expectation is that if there is a strike on Monday, there will be no light rail service and there will be no bus service.
One driver who's been with the agency 35 years says a strike won't be good for anyone.
It's not fair for the people, for the passengers, and then for, we're just trying to get a fair contract, but I guess that's the nature of the beast,
If the strike happens, it would be the biggest service disruption since the VTA mass shooting in 2021 and the agency's first strike ever.
The agency says its paratransit service will continue its regular operations during the strike.
In San Francisco, it's the final mile for the Great Highway. Most of the road will close for good next Friday to make room for a park on the coast. Voters in November approved closing a 2-mile stretch of the Great Highway for good. Supporters, of course, are thrilled about it, but those living nearby say that it will be a permanent traffic nightmare and an ongoing safety threat. The park is set to open on April 12th. Meanwhile, in the South Bay, residents had a chance to ask Congressman Sam Liccardo questions at a town hall meeting. A big topic is Trump's agenda, the economy, and the Department of Government Efficiency were among the issues. It's the second weekend that Liccardo's presided over a town hall meet. Indra?
Well, Brian, the small town of Healdsburg is taking action to prevent some big businesses from opening up shop downtown. As John Ramos reports, it's all being done to keep Healdsburg.
It's a tough time to be in business these days, but the city of Healdsburg likes its small town feel and is working to protect it, even if it means keeping some pretty familiar names from coming into town. On Saturday, the city of Brentwood celebrated the opening of its first Costco, and it felt like the entire town showed up to welcome it. The giant retailer probably wouldn't get the same reception in Healdsburg. In fact, a lot of people got pretty freaked out in May when this small men's clothing store showed up in the downtown area.
As far as I know, this is the first time we've ever had a chain store per se come in, and it scared people.
So Mayor Evelyn Mitchell says the town began working on an ordinance to ban chain stores and restaurants known as formula businesses from the downtown. They've already been prohibited in the commercial spaces lining the city's downtown plaza.
The plaza is where people go, right? I mean, it's really unique. We call it the Healdsburg's living room.
And by a unanimous vote, the city council approved an ordinance to extend the chain store ban to a larger portion of downtown. They also banned big box stores like Home Depot and Walmart from the town entirely. Those are already available in the town of Windsor, just up the road, so Healdsburg figures it can afford to forego some sales tax revenue to maintain its identity. And it's hard to find anyone who's too upset about it.
I just think that when you're local and you have the big guys coming in, it starts changing the feeling of it. It changes the feeling of it.
You go to a mall and it has exactly the same shops all over the world. And we don't have that here. We have mostly local shops with different flavor, and people come to Healdsburg and they know that that's what they're going to find. So for us, we really like it that way.
Christine Bryan owns 101, a woman's boutique store on the plaza. She makes trips every year to Europe to purchase clothing not found anywhere else in the Bay Area.
There's not a store like this anywhere else, and that's what brings people to Healdsburg, is stores that are just unlike anything you see everywhere.
And you don't want to lose that.
I do not want to lose that. I do not want Saks. I do not want Banana Republic. I do not want those stores here.
But the mayor says there are practical concerns as well. Not every business is right on the plaza, and she's worried about what could happen to those locations if there's a severe downturn in the economy.
The concern is that they don't get any foot traffic beyond the plaza. What happens if there's an empty storefront and you've got these restrictions, and so then it remains empty? So that's my concern still. That there's going to be down the road maybe some downturn in the economy, downturn in tourism, all of those things could happen to us, and they have.
She voted for the ordinance with a provision that exceptions could be made if elected officials decide it's in the best interests of the city. And while keeping Healdsburg unique is a bedrock principle right now, it's not exactly written in stone.
The good news about an ordinance, I guess, though, is this is what I've been told, and we can change it. Right? If it doesn't work, we could also change the ordinance.
And coming up, the first total lunar eclipse in years will appear Thursday night. We'll have the details, and unfortunately, Darren will have the forecast.
Just looking out the windows from the virtual set out there right now, it looks gorgeous out the window. But when you look at the northern hemisphere, you can see what is coming. We are about to enter a fairly active pattern. A series of storms will be coming our way. We've got rain in the forecast. Doesn't start till Wednesday, but it may last a while. Forecast on that is coming up after this.
Even as we speak, the moon is racing toward the shadow of the Earth. And when it is totally engulfed by that shadow Thursday night, we'll be treated to an unusual sight in the nighttime sky, a total lunar eclipse. If only the weather cooperates. Kevin Coe's got the details.
Eclipses are spectacular. I mean, the moon kind of slowly slides into the shadow of the Earth and turns red, this blood red color.
On Thursday night, the Earth will be directly between the sun and moon.
It's pretty dramatic, I think. The moon kind of almost disappears from the sky, but it doesn't. It becomes this blood red color.
Ron Hipschman has seen more than a few. The scientist joined the Exploratorium in 1971. And creates science content for the museum in San Francisco. He took us through NASA's Scientific Visualization Studio to map out Thursday's eclipse for the Bay Area.
It couldn't be much better for us. Well, maybe not everybody wants it at midnight. I would just go for the umbral shadow, which starts at about 11:26.
The center of the eclipse is a minute before midnight, which might be late for some, but will be more accessible than other celestial events.
You want to see a meteor shower, you've got to find some dark spot with the right view of the sky. If you want a solar eclipse, you've got to go to the right place, part of the world. But with a lunar eclipse, if it's visible in your area, as long as you have a clear sky and a view, you can enjoy it.
Ryan Wyatt is the senior director of the Morrison Planetarium at the California Academy of Sciences.
Whenever you look up at the sky, you have this connection to something that's bigger than yourself. And with an eclipse, like, you can start to think of yourself like, oh, I'm on this planet that's orbiting the sun, and we just coincidentally, twice a year we line up just right with the moon.
The whole idea of this cosmic dance that's constantly going on.
Unlike a solar eclipse, no protective eyewear is necessary. As long as you can see the moon, you can catch Thursday's lunar eclipse anywhere in the Bay Area.
There's just one little problem.
What would that be?
We need to be able to see the moon.
I know.
So, okay,
Yeah.
here's the thing about a lunar eclipse, as you well know. If you get, even if you just get a break in the clouds, it's still bright enough during an eclipse that you go, well, it's still cool. You can see
Yeah.
it as, so you think Thursday night we could get some breaks?
Thursday night's way better than Wednesday night.
Okay, good.
So I think we will
So
get
there's
some
a
breaks.
chance.
There is a chance, a pretty decent chance at this point, that the breaks will be good enough because it's a several hour long process
Yeah,
where you can watch
totality
it.
is an hour, but partial eclipse begins, the whole thing, you're right, is like 3 hours.
Yeah,
Something like that. So
I-
hopefully.
I think we'll be okay.
Good, good.
We got bigger issues.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Well, the bigger issues is what I need to discuss, though. There's rain coming our way, and the rain does look pretty good. It's going to start on Wednesday. Look at us today. Beautiful weekend. This much you know. You've had a beautiful weekend, and you're going to keep it around for the next couple of days. Like Monday and Tuesday are just as nice. And then we've got some action coming from the Pacific. Those are wave heights. Thursday, take a look at Thursday right there. We're going to have some issues on the beaches. But that's one issue of about 3. There's rain, wind, snow to talk about, so I guess that's one issue of 4. You take a look out there off the Pacific, and look at the clouds out there in the distance. So here we are with our beautiful clear skies. You've got that beautiful little comma storm sitting right out there off the coast. That one's going to miss us. Look beyond that. All those mottled, spotted clouds out there, that's how you can spot the cold air. That's how you can see what's behind that system in terms of what wants to come our way. And there's a pretty decent amount of rain out there. If we just take the futurecast, there goes the one comma storm that goes to our south. But look at all the rain that then filters in. And from Wednesday going into like Sunday, there were breaks in there. But we just looked at like 5 solid days play through where the rain just wants to keep coming. Let's get a little more specific. Let's try and get the best handle that we can on timing and which points in the course of the next 7 days are going to be some of the more impressive for the rain. So we'll leave behind the wave height story. Remember, that's Thursday, and those are pretty dangerous waves as some of the storm energy starts to approach the coast. But when we take a look at the futurecast with a little more detail, there goes the Monday storm that misses us. Now here comes the setup for Wednesday. This is pre-dawn, but you can see this thing is lined up out here off the coast and looks pretty good. Throughout pretty much the entire day on Wednesday, it's widespread rain. It will get breaks, but Wednesday you should plan on, just about any point in the day at this point, having to deal with widespread rain. Thursday rolls around and we get back into the center of the system where it's more spotty hit and miss showers. By Thursday afternoon and evening, this could be clearing, so we could actually have really beautifully clear skies for the eclipse on Thursday night. But in terms of the weather aspect of it, for at least the first half of Thursday, plan on leftover isolated showers, maybe an occasional thunderstorm. That's storm number 1. Storm number 2 then gets here going into Friday. And now we can see Friday morning throughout the day, another system, more widespread rain, that clears out. The next one then comes in. This is now late Saturday night, focused perhaps a little more on Sunday morning. That's also another good widespread rainmaker. There's a lot to these. If we just broad brush what happens across California, look at the rainfall totals. We'll start it with the Wednesday storm. And then we'll add on top of that, and the numbers are going to keep going up. So it's too early to try and pinpoint specific numbers on here. Keep in mind when you see close to 3 inches of rain on there, that's a 5-day period. We're not worried about flooding. We can handle that amount of rain over that period of time. The rainier days are going to be Wednesday, Friday, and then likely Sunday morning.
A sad goodbye to Art Shallak. I got to know him, the Marin native, when he turned 99 and then 100. We lost the left-hander on Thursday. Then the oldest living MLB centenarian. You're this kid from Mill Valley, and you're playing in the big leagues.
I know. I came a long way.
Art Shalik graduated from Tamalpais High School in 1942. He spent the next 4 years in the Navy during World War II. When he returned home, Art played minor league baseball before finally getting called up in 1951.
I was thrilled to death going to the top baseball team in the whole world.
He joined the New York Yankees, but to make room for him on the roster, the club sent down a young rookie named Mickey Mantle.
They sent him down to Kansas City. He came back 3 months later, though. Made quite a name for himself.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Art spent parts of the next 5 seasons in Yankee pinstripes.
Walking into Yankee Stadium for the first time, that was the biggest thrill of my life, I think. I was just awed that I was part of it.
He was part of 3 straight championship teams and even pitched 2 innings in the 1953 World Series.
Casey Siegel said afterwards the reason why he picked me because I had been brought up with the Dodgers and I knew the Dodgers. He says, my bullpen does not know the Dodger hitters.
The 5'9" left-hander described his fastball as sneaky fast and relied on his catcher, Hall of Famer Yogi Berra.
When I first got up to the Yankees, he was my roomie because he knew all the hitters in the league. And every morning I'd have to go down to the lobby and get him his funny books.
His room is filled with memories from his baseball past. But there was one notable exception, his 1953 World Series ring.
My wife hid the thing in the house, and then she couldn't remember where she hid it. And when we sold the house, it went to the dumps. I never did find it. It's just one of those things. And
That's unbelievable.
And those rings sell for around $25,000.
Yeah. He got to live out his childhood dream nearly 70 years ago. But there's one thing he would have liked to change.
The minimum salary for a ball player was $5,000. Today it is $475,000. I was born too quick.
Art has the distinction as the oldest living former Major League ball player.
Maybe I'll be here for another week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 months. I may be gone tomorrow. I don't know. At my age, yeah.
Art has been getting media requests all the way to the end. And among his final words, when asked what to tell him, he said with a loud, laughing cackle, tell them they can go to not heaven.
What an encomium for that guy. The fact that they sent down Mickey Mantle to make room for him. That's incredible.
Back then, it was kind of, matter of fact, send the kid down, he'll come back, But now, in hindsight, with all the baseball history, like, what?
Yeah.
Jaw drop. You sit down Mickey Mantle.
That's incredible.
Yeah, don't do that.
That was a great story. Thank you, Vern.
All right, well, we'll be right back after this. But first, next, a life-changing diagnosis changed one woman's life, how she's now helping herself and others knock out an incurable disease. In boxing, they say you have to roll with the punches, but Laureen Ayub tells a story about one coach who's changing lives.
Boxing isn't just about landing punches. It's also about fighting back. I'm at HitFit San Francisco, where one unique class is empowering individuals with Parkinson's disease to fight it through the power of movement and community. For boxing trainer Veronica Garcia Hayes, every day is a push forward. The coach, who has been athletic her whole life, was shocked when she received a diagnosis of Parkinson's in her 30s.
I happened to be 4 months pregnant with my daughter when I received the diagnosis. And when you're 39, it is a shock because you feel like you're just getting your life started.
That's why this motto keeps her motivated each day. Now 54, Veronica leads up fitness classes entitled Rock Steady for individuals with Parkinson's.
It really is an opportunity for people to be with people in a safe space everyone's in the same boat. The camaraderie, I think, is half of the benefit from coming to class.
According to a study by Rush University, boxing eases both motor and non-motor symptoms in adults with Parkinson's. But beyond the physical benefits, the enhanced morale is also significant.
Parkinson's creates a lot of depression, anxiety, apathy, and I think when you surround yourself with people that are in the same situation, it's a safe zone.
And a zone that has become especially meaningful to members like Diane Reyes-Surf. She says it has transformed her outlook on life.
Nice. That's it for us at 5. We'll see you back here at 6 for an hour of news. Local news continues streaming on CBS News Bay Area.
Yeah, when Darren will be here with the forecast. There is some rain in the forecast for this week, and we will have more.
Yeah, kind of big time, I guess.
Yeah, some big time storms coming in, and we have a possible strike that's going to be happening in the South Bay. We will let you know what's the latest on that coming up tonight at 6.
So we'll see you in 30 minutes.